want to revisit this one for a couple of points. We're going to get now into the KPI, which is the cherry on my cake in terms of the presentation. The boot in the Jeep's full of DeWalt tools for anyone who wants it. The thing I want to talk about here quickly is for those that are running your own website, similar data communication principle. Now, we've already got clients that have done this, and we've built about 4 or 5 different models of getting data in and out of Accrivia over the years. That's all just going to get pushed off the side of the desk. It's all coming back to this new technology that we've essentially built. So if you have got a web page, you've got your shopping cart, you want to get information in as a customer order, or you're wanting to reflect data information out, stock information, all of that is on the same backbone principle as these web devices. There's an API that works between these 2 points to represent your data. I think I've pretty much talked about all those other things, and I'll come back to the KPI breakpoints. So this is the flagship part of the presentation at the end here with regards to the KPI. What we're basically talking about, and we're using a tablet here, we're not using a phone. Phone would work. What we're talking about is you telling us, or you telling the system, what are the key performance indicators in my business that I want to track, and I want to do it with ease. So as you can see here, I've got green, red and orange, representing good, bad and really ugly. And you will tell us what those breakpoints are. I'm going to talk to that in just a second. I've got monthly trend analysis, stock group, top 5 debtors. You can drill down on any one of these KPIs. So this might be your trend analysis in terms of sales. That graph might be presented that way. You might want to see a line graph. It's basically all just information run in the primary server, pumped up to the cloud servers and then drawn down onto the actual device. So the reason this is green is that everything's in order and we're hitting our targets. So here we can drill that down, resize it, all the typical things you're used to on a device. I'm going to go through these reasonably slowly in a couple of cases and reasonably quickly in another couple, just to draw out what we're capable of in this area. We recognise this whole KPI area to some will actually be a very, very good business tool. To others it might be a convenience. I can actually quickly look and see the performance of my 10 KFC stores and how everything's going. To someone else it might be a crucial thing to hold a sales rep accountable. So we're looking at sales by stock group. We've done a pie chart on this one. This one's red. So here we've drilled it down, and in our demo database 87% of our debtors ledger is made up by our top 5 debtors, and the banks are screaming. Creditors not so bad. Actually creditors is worse, but still green. I'm going to go a bit slower here. Let's talk about quotes. Once we've drilled this one down, which was orange, halfway between good and bad, we actually can see we've got red lines, we've got black lines. So within the drill down, you're still telling us what's the performance we're interested in here. As a net result, this is halfway. At an individual result, we were looking for 16% margin return on every quote done. Some of those were above that, they're good. Some of those were below that. We need to have a chat with our sales rep, he's getting a bit excited. Last, top 5 items by sales, top 5 items by volume. Put simply, if you can stipulate the type of data you're wanting to see, it's just a report to us, and up goes the information as a graph. You download it and see it. This can be running on a 5-minute cycle. This could be running at 8 o'clock every night. When you look at a report, it'll clearly indicate the date and time the data was extracted, so you know what you're seeing. So if that was yesterday's data, you know that. Here we've got a situation where the stock's not going to meet demand. Mini P&L type report. You can put together a trading statement report or a P&L report. Full permission control. You don't want your manager at store A looking up the information for store B. Or maybe you do. It might be actually a good competition between the two of them. So you can control who sees what. Here we're drilling it down. We're looking at sales, cost of goods sold, gross profit, overhead expenses giving us a net profit. And here we've got yesterday, week to date and month to date. It's all just time frames. It's all just data. And it's all being represented essentially out on the tablet. So I'm going to drop out of the plasterboard industry in terms of our data that we just showed there, retailing in the construction industry, if you will. I'm going to jump across to, in this case, a KFC, a quick service type example as well. So we'd be logging back into the system with the appropriate permissions. Into the KPI. So we've got a handful here. But one of the things that might be highly relevant, which potentially only Accrivia can deliver because we're doing the payroll processing, is what was my store turnover on a given day and what was my labour mix? How many managers did I have? How many crew did I have? What was the ratios going on there? So We've started off with a few typical things. We can look at performance in terms of sales. You might want daily, weekly. We can look at budget information. How do we go against budget for a time frame? Are we up or down? How do we go against actuals in the same period last year? 4-week period, 5-week, might be the month of the same year. So any information that's in the system can be presented here. And you can see there we're orange. So it's not disastrous, but it's not great either. Our profitability was in red. That wasn't great. Here we've got the demonstration showing each of my stores in terms of performance. So I could collapse them together and give you a single set of numbers, or I could actually break it down for someone who's actually got all of the stores and they're wanting to see individually the performance that's going on. Again, all this is out to the tablet, so you don't need to necessarily have a Accrivia login to see it. You just need the appropriate permissions and be set up to drive it. And here I can look at the labour mix between, in this case, admin, techs and management. It could be your crew, it could be your senior guys, junior guys, etc. Overtime mix versus standard labour mix. Average hourly rate that's been at that point in time for last week, month to date, year to date, daily, etc. One of the other side benefits of this that's really cool is that the report itself within the Accrivia system is actually what's driving all the data and the final presentation, be it a graph and the colouring. So if you guys wanted to change the way some of these were working, you don't need a programming update. You'd basically ring the support desk up, email through, indicate the change to that report, and that then ultimately, as soon as we upload it to your server, reflects straight out to your mobile device the next time the sweep is done.